Oh wow, that is still very dark. Oh no. It's a little bit better, kind of, sorta. The lighting on this is so weird. But then again, I guess that's probably it's probably Zoom. I was thinking that on Zoom, it's almost whitewash the things that they do to your camera to make it look more vibrant, more bright. But I guess this is technically more realistic, I suppose. You can see all the shadows on my face. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome back to the lab. I'm going to apologize in advance. Haven't eaten breakfast yet, and a wee bit peckish. But how is everybody doing today? I need to pull up a couple things here. All right. In fact, we will go ahead and swap over to here. Although, because it's on cat cam. I forgot the cat cam. Forgot to plug cat cam in, which is a travesty in and of itself. All right, so I'm gonna kick things off today by giving a shout out to one of my viewers. I'm sorry, I can't think of one. Who went through and submitted a pull request for basically fixing the commands item. So pulling commands from config YAML, basically giving us a more dynamic command handler, and actually fixing the grab from config using something in Viper that I was not aware of. This whole being able to unmarshal a key just like you would unmarshal JSON. Apparently in Viper they call it map structure. Not entirely sure why they wouldn't just call it JSON, but well, I guess technically it's not JSON. Or just use YAML. Like just use the YAML package. Anyway, doesn't matter to me because this works. So we've got in let's see here. Let's go to config YAML. We do need to add a couple to the mix, but we've got the hello world, we've got lurk, we've got the sorcery and spooky commands. Double check to make sure that's actually still working. Indeed it is. There we go. We get a shout out for the amazing spooky ghost machine. And yeah, I think that sets us up to actually finish that last work in progress that I had, which was move. I probably should have called this move most, because the one thing that I'm probably not going to move over just yet is shout out. The shout out command is going to be interesting, I think. So we'll move that like somewhere around there. But so yeah, that's just confirming that it works. In config go, we have our known command. I'm pondering whether or not I want to pull this out of config.go. I mean, there is a lot in config.go at the moment, but it's all related to config.go, so does it really need to be pulled out or not? I don't really know. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? So that's config go, and then inside of main, the conf.enable, the conf.commands enabled feature. Well, now we grab a set of known commands, we turn them into bot commands, which is basically just here's the prefix, and then here's a message template for how or what we're actually sending to chat when the command is initiated. And then we say chatbot.handle commands. Now, I am still handling the very special ASCII Thulu explicitly in code, because I genuinely just was not certain how I was going to fit that into YAML. So I left it there. May have to put that behind a gate of some kind, whether it be like a channel flag or something. I'm not entirely sure here, but something to consider. Oh, that awkward moment when you think that you've bought. Oh, and of course I go drop it. There. You think that you've purchased seedless oranges, but then you find a seed. We call that margin of error. Blah. Because no process is perfect. All right. So, this is going to be less flashy, less fancy, but that's what we are basically doing is we are moving commands over. Moving commands over from Streamlabs, which I'm going to pull up in a side window here. Alrighty. Where's my dashboard? There's my dashboard. My dashboard. I mean. Doop. And let's go to the CloudBot. Alright. So I think we've only got a couple more commands that we have at the moment, and now it's as easy as throwing an entry into config.yaml. Thank you. Sorry, I can't think of one. It's the base. All right, so we do have a gear command, which I think is not used very much, but it's there. Double checking. Yep. Pretty much everything except for your OBS for streaming setup. Let's throw that in there. It's already turned off. We've got a project, which would definitely be a thing. So we got project. Now there was a question on this at some point. Let's see here. Chatbot in Golang. There was a question about this of, well, what do I intend to do later on if I need this to be more dynamic? So kind of poking at this idea of, well, what if this was productionalized? What if we took this and we moved it to something that's configurable, say via a dashboard, like Streamlabs? And the short answer is, I genuinely don't have any desire to do that right now. Hey, Phoenix! Thanks so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. How you doing, mate? Let's see here. How you doing? How's streaming going? You've been streaming now for a little bit, if I remember correctly. Don't know that anybody is necessarily in here, but I'll give you a shout out. There's Witcher, bloody Witcher, fantastic Witcher. Toss a coin to your Witcher. Oh, Valley of Plenty. Oop. And then we had a music command. Go. And then what was really nice about this was that, and this is something that I haven't done yet, but one of the commands, prefix, music, message, like that. And now we can go back to command handler. Good, just woke up a couple hours ago. Let's see here. It has now officially been 1 hour since I woke up. So right there with you as I smack the microphone. That's how tired I am. My excuse, I'm sticking to it. All right. Finally finished Witcher 2. Next week starting Witcher 3 and continuing with Hollow Knight tomorrow. Hell yeah. Playing some of them good games. How are you liking streaming so far? think it's been a while, and I think you just got affiliate, or you just got affiliate not too long ago, if I remember correctly. Which is, again, congratulations, because that is awesome. What was I doing here? Oh, right. So this is specifically, well, we can do this. Well, there's a thing that we can do, but if strings.has prefix contents commands, been 4 months. It doesn't feel like that long, which is incredible. And I think the same thing whenever I start talking about this stream. Like, I have no concept of time, like for how long we've been going, or like what is today? Today's technically day 34. Yeah, day 34, and it's wild. Feeling better to stream. Had 2 weeks of headaches and toothaches. Oof. Yeah, definitely not a situation of like force yourself to stream, because if you're not into it, the audience won't be into it. Which, for better or worse, like, I just kind of is that moment of, well, I'm doing this for fun. I'm not really doing this for any particular purpose, and as long as that fun still remains, to me at least, that's what makes it worth it. But good. I'm glad that you're back to it. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And I hope you keep doing it. I don't know. It's something about streaming just kind of keeps the days flowing, which is really nice. Let's see here. We want to do a derived. Here. Derive commands list, I think is what I want this to be. Yeah. Absolutely, dude. All right, now. Oh, here we go again. How am I going to do this? I don't get to see. Pretty much the state with everybody. It is a very busy, very, very busy time. I don't even drop by Sorcery stream much anymore, just because of, I mean, by the time that she's streaming, I'm just all over the place. So, but it's good to see you, May. All right, so when it comes to commands, I think for this, I should actually do. I'm not really doing any type of pre-caching either. That's kind of annoying. I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to do a cache, but I mean, we're talking about nothing in terms of for loops, so this should be fine. So what we would like to do is prefixes, make well, actually no, this can just be a var buff equals strings dot builder, and then for this we're gonna append buff dot write string command dot prefix, and then buff dot write string. I think for commands I just did a space separator, maybe. one day someday, and I hope that day is soon. Or in fact, we could do something like this. We could say buff dot write string. And then for each of those, we write the prefix. And then bot dot send message. Buff dot string, I'm thinking. Yeah. All right. So I think if I'm reading this correctly, now that we have a list of known commands being passed into the handle commands function, we can effectively add commands to config.go as much as we can, as much as we need to, and then this command will basically give us a constantly evolving list. And I want to double check this just to make sure. Hello, Lurk, Sorcery, Spooky, Gear, Project, Discord. Oh, projects in. Wait, did I? Yep. Projects in there multiple times because I didn't change something. Cool. Oh, yeah, there's my Kafka POC. Config YAML. All right, so let's see here. Gear, Project, Discord. I have project in here twice. What was I missing here? Project, Discord, dot files. I have no idea, to be perfectly honest. Huh. Weird. Occasional playing chats and D&D sessions will have to do. Exactly. There we go. All right. Sick. So now we have an auto commands feature, which is way more convenient than having to write a command manually, and every time you add a command, you add that command to the commands command. But there we go. Nice. All right. So let's get a quick git commit. So this is going to be add missing slobs commands, add derived commands. That looks like stuttering, but that's okay. All right, quick and easy. Quick and easy. Move those out. Oh, that makes it feel better. All right. Now. In my mind, I was going back and forth between these three. Centralized logging is definitely something that I would like to introduce, just to have the option for better logging as we go forward. Metric store for on-screen stats is another one, because I feel like that's going to be something that I'm going to have to take care of pretty quickly if I want to actually get into things like creating my own alert box and creating my own labels up here for last sub, last bits, etc. Don't think I have enough people here to do a poll, but what do you guys think? What out of these top three? Well, we can't do this one, so out of these top two, which one shall we do? I'm kind of leaning towards this one. Need to get a status, get push. Let's get a get push real quick. Yeah. I also need to create some ZSH aliases for all these git commands because they're cumbersome. Making logs. I'm thinking logs because the more features that we add, the bigger that tab is going to get, or that task is going to get. Hey, welcome, Fiol. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. How you doing, mate? Just in time for me to make a decision after polling. Introduce log.rs. That was the other thing. Thanks to Shito. Log.rs. Which I know is not how you're supposed to pronounce it. I think it's supposed to be just Logrus. But log.rs just makes me happy and reminds me of my childhood. Going to Toys R Us and seeing all the things that I couldn't buy as a child. Making some AI exercises. That realm of programming where it's like, I don't know why it works, is mostly overrun by, I don't know why it doesn't work. But then isn't that just software development in general? Let's see here. Tells me training 10 epochs should take 30 minutes, but for me it feels like 1 epoch takes 30 minutes. Ooh. Right, Phoenix? It's like, I just want something to distract me, but at the same time, I also like eating. But as a child, that wasn't how it was formulated. It was just, I want that. Log.rs is in maintenance mode. We will not be introducing new features. It's simply too hard to do in a way that won't break many people's projects. Aha. Okay. Yeah. This is okay, I remember now. This is what I wanted to do. Because we effectively wanted to get this. Wanted to be a little bit more. Well, the logs being formatted wasn't necessarily an issue. But to see here. Oh, right, because it was stuff like this that I think we were between this and fatals and all this other stuff. Makes me wonder. I know that feeling. It's something that took a lot of work to get over, that whole idea of like asking for something, asking for help. Kind of plays with your pride a little bit, which is ooh. But get there after a while. Just gotta surround yourself with people that remind you that it's okay, which is honestly kind of really hard to do sometimes. That's why I'm so thankful for the friends that I have. I kind of embody that. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm being a little quiet right now. I'm mostly just trying to figure out what this library is about, which is really kind of cool. So in this case, it's info, thing, a log, and then structured variables. So if I wanted to swap this over to a JSON formatter, that would be almost instantaneous. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good. I approve. Yep. Okay. And then we got formatters. Text formatters, JSON formatter. And then there are third-party formatters. Ooh. There's a Logstash one. Okay. Ooh. Sorry, I'm getting very amused. LogRS can be transformed in an IO writer. Writer is the end of an IO pipe, and it is your responsibility to close it. Aha. Hence, tie into HTTP server. Oh, you're good, Phoenix. Sorry, I'm just digging into to this log library, trying to figure out how much of this I need versus how much of this I don't need. It has a built-in facility for asserting the presence of log messages. Thank you, Logros, you beautiful library. Why is this not a more common thing? I think I know why it's not a more common thing, but still. All right, I like this. I really like this. I think we're gonna give this a go. Okay, so the TLDR for why I'm even looking at this in the first place is that on the back of my mind, I have this idea for if I were to deploy the bot somewhere, if I were to deploy it to, say, Kubernetes, and if I were to hook that into existing infrastructure, then that would allow me to do centralized logging instead of the logs just kind of flowing through standard out on that flowing through standard out on the container. And it looks like whenever I do that, like if I'm going out to Datadog or if I'm going out to an Elk Stack or anything like that, I like for it to be a little more structured, which structured logs would very much be things like, you know, if you wanted them to be JSON logged or if you want them to be something like this, where it's just text and they can be parsed as text accordingly. Being able to do that is kind of big. I'm kind of big on my preferences. And Logros basically has all of that. So on top of this, what I intended to do was to kind of centralize all of these log commands that we have right now. So we're going to do logging. So even if I go into something like main.go, where we've got log.fatalf, we've got a couple of FMT print lines. I think the log handler itself was just doing a printf. Yep. There's so many things that are just kind of like disjointed logging, just all over the place. So what I was thinking of doing was something like this. If I make dir logs, or not logs, what do I want to call this? Logger? Sure. And then touch log.go. Whenever I see a logs folder, I assume that if I cd into that folder, I'm just going to see a ton of files that are timestamped. But that's why I kind of paused there for a second. I was like, that has implications. Let's see here. So that'll probably do a thing. We will enforce that an error has to happen on a fatal message. I'm actually going to call this panic, to imply that this is basically the application is going to panic. Oh, completely forgot to do the thing where I actually install the dependency that I need. Kind of difficult to use a dependency if you don't actually install it. So go get Logros. That is a very small package. I approve. Hell yeah. All right, log.go. So what do we need? Do we just go directly at the log? Okay. So if we just did a log, that wouldn't be Logros. I don't think COC is aware that Logros is a thing, which is interesting. Ah, they're doing this. Yeah, that's why. Import. So they're basically aliasing Logros so that it comes out like that, and then you end up with something, maybe. Ooh. Could not import, no package. I beg your pardon. Double check the Go mod. Oh my god, there's so many things in here now. Why are there so many things here? Because SPF. So we got SPF, we got HashiCorp. We may talk about that in a minute. We got Gorilla, we got Snappy. Well, okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I've seen Python projects that are way worse than this. I'm stopping time now. I don't know whether that may speed up significantly, but I don't see a reason why it would. Maybe later epochs train faster? I'm not sure. That is not my area of expertise, I'm afraid. Okay, never mind. It seems to have gotten there. So if we just do that, then do we have a? Yep. Yep. Question though is that how does that work? Oh no, it was with fields. Log dot with field error dot fatal message. That's kind of cool, not gonna lie. I'm fond of that. I'm fond of it because it kind of reminds me a little bit of it kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the Fluent APIs that I've built in the past, which is kind of fun. All right, so we're going to get rid of that. And instead, we're going to have Meshbot logger. Then so this would be panic init config, something like that. All right, so I'm gonna have to use the same trick, ironically. Yes. Ooh. Handle commands. Oh. Did I not fix this? I did not fix. Chad, I didn't fix my test. Damn it. I need to fix this. I'm going to stop what we're doing for just a brief second because I need to fix that. Okay, let's see here. Logger, go mod, go sum, git diff main. Yeah, okay. Okay. Go.mod, go.sum, and logger. Git commit -m, info and panic logs with logres. Okay. Main.go. Okay. So, what didn't happen is after those changes to the command handler, we had test failures. And we had test failures because, well, handle commands changed signatures. I didn't catch that. Whoa. Huh. Holy shit. Well, thank you. Welcome, Dry Bones. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab, and thank you for the 10 hours of research. There's no way to tell if you have your tab muted or not, or is there? There is. There is. Huh. Dry Bones just finding all the ways to game the system. How are you doing, May? Thanks so much for stopping by. I just sounded like I was dead there. So, there's a thing that I think needs to happen, needs to start happening on every pull request. Every pull request needs to be running the test. How do you do that, though? Well, when you're in GitHub land, we have this lovely thing called GitHub Actions, which is amazing. And they have tests. So, on pull requests, I feel like we could do on pushes and on pull requests. Pull requests, we'll say for any pull request. And on pushes, also notice that I only have dreams when I sleep in an hour or more. Got nothing on that one. Let's see here. Actions checkout, actions go version is 1.15, although I think we're on 1.14 right now, which we need to update, like, immediately. Yes, okay, so, pausing for a moment. Welcome to GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions is incredible. Incredible. It is amazing. It is it is basically a CI, so it's a continuous integration server, kind of. Think of serverless. Terms hard. It is a thing that is built into GitHub repositories that will allow you to basically run things, run actions, run jobs on various life cycles. So in this case, this is going to be tests. Excuse me just a sec. I made it. Aha. So this action is basically set up to say, I need to check out the code. I need to set up a Go environment, and then I would like to run tests. Run tests for the application, all tests for the application. And run this every time that we have a push to a particular branch, and also run them every time that there's a pull request. Now, there's a part of me that kind of wants to disable this part, because actions does cost you based on the number of minutes that you have runners running for. It's very cheap, like very cheap, and they give you a pool of hours to use or pool of minutes to use every month. But for the sake of simplicity, this is what I think we should do. So add action for tests. And I'm going to create a new branch. And this is going to be GitHub Actions Test. Compose new file. Yeah. Now, obviously we don't have this file yet, so GitHub doesn't actually know to run these tasks yet. Except that it does, because it now runs it on a pull request, adding an action to a pull. That is so good. That is so good. Although, I am noticing a slight issue. Hey! Aw, thank you so much for the host, Tor. How are you doing, mate? Welcome back to the lab. Yeah. Commit directly. Update that. I'm just gonna just code over again. There we go. We update that test. Now it just says test, test. Fun. But check it out. We have actions. So what this is doing is, well, this. So we get Go set up. We get our Go code downloaded. We're checking out the code. We are downloading dependencies as necessary. And then we're running Go test. It's doing that automatically. And so now we have errors. So now on a pull request, if I come back to this pull request, now we have checks failed. So this would be an indicator of whenever we have a pull request, if I forget to update the test or if I forget to run the test completely, this will be a very clear indicator of, hey, BT dubs, you got stuff to do. And you know what? As part of this action, I'm going to check it. I'm going to fix it. Oh, thank you so much for the host, Drybones. Excuse me. Let's see here. I need to do a git fetch. Since that is a thing. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. I think we're getting there. Nilo just helped you incorporate something into your stream, and I'm really hyped. Ooh. New toys for stream? I admit that is kind of half of the fun of doing this is like just getting stuff like this set up, getting the stream set up, getting OBS set up, getting the tools set up. I don't know about other people. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people find that to be tedious and annoying, but I kind of find it fun. Are we host spamming? Sure feels like it. Thank you all so much. I appreciate all of you. All right. So, inside of this, you all are the best. All right. So, for this means that we need Do, 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 do. All right, so I had a thing about this. Bot test template. Yeah. Got a bot test make template. So what I can do here is I just need to pass in a slice of known commands. And then, whoops, click here. So this is, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? Prefix would be hello. And then, oh wait, no, this is handle command is, it takes a slice of command. So then this would be prefix, and then is it template? I can never really remember. Prefix and message template. Aha. I've already been auto hosting you. I know it's weird. It's like if you auto host through Twitch, it never notifies. Like you don't get the notification like you would with JTV. But if you do the JTV version, it notifies. Very confusing. Bot test.make template. This would be hello world. Do like that, I think. Hmm. Really? I don't know why I wouldn't have done that in the first place. And then... Oh, right, because we can't do the circular dependency. That's right. Ah, I forgot about that. There we go. So in this case, it's a handler template. Oops. Would be template is bot test template. All right, I'm about to break a ton of code. I'm about to break a ton of code, but I'm going to break a ton of code because it's annoying to remember. Temple. Yes. Too few arguments. Unknown field temple. So let's do a %s. Time to purge. Massacre the code. Do like that. Same thing for this. And there we go. Problem. Oh, thank you very much, Fuel. Oh, ouch. Something that I need to be doing a lot more of. I went to the chiropractor on Friday, and I was like, you know, having a lot of issues with like my lower back just being really stiff. It's like, yeah, because you sit at a computer all day. Yeah. Yeah. No worries, Dry Bones. Thank you so much for the lurk. We'll see you soon. Let's see here. So prefix is hello. Message template is handler template. See, this is so ugly. I don't like this. Yeah, we actually did it. Oh yeah. We also have an auto updating commands command. So as we add more commands, you just type in commands and it will automatically populate that list for me, and I don't have to remember to do so, which is great. Just saying. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Although it's not doing the at. Make a note of that real quick. Let's see here. So lurk, not. All right. Still put my name in white, so it doesn't need the at. Huh. Doesn't show up as highlighted for me. So I guess the at highlights it for everybody. I don't know. I do not pretend to understand the mythic and wonder that is Twitch. Okay, so this is ugly. This is very ugly. I don't like this just being everywhere. The whole concept of like, oh wait, no, because there was a bot.make template, wasn't there? The bot test.make template, but no. Bot test. Handler template. New handler template. I guess technically this would be new handler template. This is the problem, is that I'm kind of looking at this like, this is my own code. This is my own code, and I'm not particularly keen on it. Woof. I mean, it's not terrible. Yeah, not terrible, but all right. I feel like this could be empty though. Definitely do this. Ignores invalid events, ignores regular chat messages. It seems so verbose to me, but let's see. There we go. Huh. That also tells me that I'm actually not doing the correct coverage profile. So what I should do is I should say GitHub workflows test go tool cover. Go tool cover, and I can't remember the full func dash func. Dash func out dot raw. Yeah. I think that's good. Fox missing tests? No, fix missing tests. Fix missing tests and tests. I don't know what's happening to my voice today. Fix missing tests and add coverage report to action. Bada boop. There we go. So now, more things are going to happen, I think. There it is. Now we can take a look at this. So now we have a new step. We have test, and we have coverage. That setup go is so fast. I love it. Voila. Look at that. Look at that. So good. It's so good. So now we can see coverage. Well, we can see coverage in the sense that we can at least, we have a check that is running coverage. Now, is there a way to show a message on the check? I don't recall. I don't think you can. Awesome actions. Yeah. There's almost always going to be an awesome dash something repository. If it exists, there's probably an awesome repository for it. Not safe for work detection. Oh my. Dependencies, semantic versions, static analysis, testing. Performance testing with artillery. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that in my test, but yeah, cool. Okay. So again, TLDR for what we just did. Now that I have GitHub Actions, GitHub Actions is just a way to run jobs automatically on things like pull requests. So we say on a pull request, any pull request, run the following jobs. In this case, I only have one job and it has multiple steps. Step 1, check out the code. Kind of a necessary first step. Step 2, set up Go. Which version of Go? Well, right now we're using Go 1.4. I do need to upgrade the Go version. Step 3, run tests. And step 4, report on the coverage. Right now, I'm not actually doing anything with that coverage report. I'm just kind of like making it available to the step. So if I go into checks, I can look at the coverage report and just at a quick glance, I can say, oh, okay, this is the rough coverage for each of my functions if I needed to do that. Eventually, I might add a coverage checker, be like, hey, don't let the coverage go below 60% or 70%, whatever it may be. We're not quite there yet. So we're going to squash and merge, add action for tests and coverage, and fix missing tests. Or fix, I should say, fix broken test for handle command. Squash. And there we go. So now we have an action. And now, anytime that we are building stuff and opening pull requests, like I'm supposed to do, we'll get that action to run, which is going to be a huge, huge, huge cognitive boon for me. Get checkout main, get pull, get branch, oops, dash D, GitHub Actions test. Okay. Logging, I think is where we were on. Git merge main. Make sure that's up to date. Should have done a rebase off of main. Shit. That's all right. And Vim. Back to the log. So there's a part of me that's kind of tempted to say, like, the log.in. Now I'm questioning things. Because if I just use Logrus directly, that would kind of save me a little bit of time creating abstractions. But on the other hand, creating an abstraction, or creating the abstraction, the whole point was to hide that Logrus was even a thing. I think I'm going to do that. Because really right now I only have info and panic logging. So I think I'll do that. I'll enforce that panic should happen via message in an error. And then we'll just swap things over. We'll just swap things over as we go. So now we got to do this again. Medgebot logger. And then for this needs to be log. That goes away. And now we change all of these over to log.panic. Toby is sitting down here like waiting to jump up, and I'm like, no boy. Init config and error. So that still works. This will still be a panic. Create secret store. And you can kind of see the pattern here. Now that we have Logrus, we don't have to remember this format. We just say, what's the problem? The error that caused it, log.panic will structure that accordingly. Now this is kind of a problem because, well, I mean, I guess technically we could do that. Technically. So this was lazy. So now we fix this. So IRC or start IRC. See, so this is already catching where I was not consistent on some of these logs. Whoops. So let's say panic. Now this is a problem. Well, it's a minor problem because this goes away. I could technically just do an fmt.sprintf. This is ugly as sin, but I may come back to make that a little bit better. What do we got? We got another log.panic. Create ledger. Oops. Yeah. See, now that this is part of the reason why I was considering doing this now versus later is that the more work that we do, the more features that we add, the more of these we would have to change. Let's see, delete to bloop. Two, boop. Delete two. I could have made that a bloody Let me see. Let me see if I can make this a macro. So at Q, or what is it? Recording Q, 2F over change word panic word delete 2 space boop to this delete to that. So if you have no idea what I was just doing, well, let's see. I was doing that. I was creating a macro to do that. Now the problem is that I technically should have started the macro by going to the beginning of the line, but this would just be log.info, I think. So this would be if error error does not equal to nil, log.panic start HTTP server error. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. That was a process. Let's see if we broke everything. Boop, boop, boop. Meow. Okay. So that seems okay. But now if we don't add a channel, for example, I know that's an error state. Boop. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Theta? Why does it say theta? It should say fatal. Huh. Case sensitivity. Fields. Default fields. Oh, you can set default fields. Ooh, that's handy. Hell yeah. Hooks. You can add hooks for logging levels. To send errors to an exception tracking service on error, fatal, and panic. Info to stats D or log multiple trace assist log. Holy shit, that's awesome. Yo. That's cool. Oh, there's actually a log.panic. Of course there is. That's cool. Damn. This is a really nice library. Thank you to Shito for recommending it, for reminding me that it exists. Because I knew that loggers existed. I've seen it in a number of places, but it's been a hot minute since I've actually, like, thought about it, used it. That's cool. Mind, this doesn't really do what I want it to do, but, you know, it's a start. It's a bloody start. Hell yeah. Okay. I'm going to pause there for just a second. I need to run downstairs and get my my egg sitting in an egg bath, water bath, ice bath. Words hard. Anyway, I will be right back, so bear with me. And I'm back. All right. So there's a couple more things that that I would like to migrate over, but I think for the time being, just to kind of move things along, I'll do that as an off hours item. So let's do a quick check. Git add main, git commit -m. I really need to add those aliases. Good. Let's see here. So this would be swap main.go to use new log package. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a kind of an interim PR with Logros. Moves main.go to use new package. Others to follow. You would normally not do that. You would normally be very, very explicit of like, hey, this needs to happen, now, swap things over. But just for the sake of the stream, we will swap this. Yeah, I was thinking about this as to whether I wanted to swap over this from Panic to Fatal, and I think I do. I want this to be Fatal. So that goes like that. Main.go is now also Fatal. Commit, change Panic to Fatal for consistency. Go. All right. Now that should become new things. There we go. All right. Check our checks, make sure the checks are A-okay. And in the interim, I shall drink some coffee. I've got a bite mark like right on the inside of my lip. A thing where like you accidentally bite down and you just like pierce into your own lip. Buh. Makes drinking coffee a bit of a process. But the caffeine is worth the pain. Whatever that voice was. All right. So I'm going to squash and merge this. I'm going to change this to info and fatal logs with logRS to keep the change log nice and clean. Okay. And come back here, branch-d logging. And there we go. All right. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this, or I'm not going to move it. I'm going to add the off hours label. Even though we technically just did some work for it, I'll consider that to be kind of a thing that we've done. We'll do that, a thing that we've done slash we'll finish it up as a work in progress off stream. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to look at real quick. I'm in here. The Vault store. The more that I think about it, the less that it makes sense to me. Vault is a great technology, but I don't think that it's necessary for the bot. I've been thinking about like what the bot, what the kind of final state of the bot, what I would like for the final state of the bot to be. And I don't think Vault really fits into that. So I'm thinking Vault removal. I'm thinking that it doesn't really make sense to have, we're going to have the get history of it. So if for any reason we wanted to revive Vault, we could. But in general, I think that up to this point, because of how much we've used InfStore, and even if we were to deploy this to Kubernetes, we would still be using InfStore because we would be expecting environment variables, and we would seed those environment variables with K8s secrets. So I don't think that it really makes sense to have Vault anymore. So I'm inclined to remove. I'm inclined to remove Vault. This will also reduce the amount of code that's in the project. It'll reduce the amount of configuration that's necessary for the project, etc., etc. If anybody has any objections, do speak up. But since we don't really use it. Secret, vault store, rm-rf vault, and then I think we need to go into the secret store factory. So we won't use vault. We won't allow vault. And we'll do something like that. I knew I was gonna go back on not doing that in the first place. Okay. And then go mod or vim go.mod. Okay, so vault. There you are. All these HashiCorp bits. Yeah, there we go. So that removed a lot from our go.mod. Yeah, like that removed a lot. Which is excellent. Okay. Git commit -m remove vault is no longer required. Purge vault. Open that PR. It's a lot of code cleanup and a lot of code reorganization, and a lot of this is kind of like the equivalent of what you would do in a project for, say, a Tech Debt Tuesday, which is what I always called it. The idea more or less being that you write code, you get the code to a particular state, everything's working, it's great, hooray. And then you kind of come back to it and you start doing these kind of hygienic cleanups, and you get ideas of how to make things better. So you do so as you're kind of going along. This would be the equivalent of, so what I used to do in my teams is I would kind of designate a day, Tech Debt Tuesday usually, because and we would just go through, we would identify, we keep a list, or we would quickly identify things that we want to change. We would make a ticket for them to clean them up, and then we would clean them up. Which, speaking of, yoink, put you up there. Let's make a ticket for you. Remove vault. And I'm actually going to create a new label. It's going to be Tech Debt. So the tech debt side of things is more or less just, it sounds terrible. The term sounds terrible, but it's really not. Like, it's a good thing. It means that you're taking that time to go back through your code, clean things up, make them better, make them easier to use. You're kind of using lessons learned to make the code better, which to me is never a bad thing. People see the term debt, though, and they go, "Oh, debt. Debt is bad." Like, you say that, and yet you have massive debt for your house. Or you have massive debt for your car. Details. Anyway. All right. So, that's a thing. Remove vault. Remove vault is no longer required / used. Just double checking to make sure that we removed everything that we needed to. Make test. Everything looks good. Ironically, coverage didn't go up, but trollolo. Oh, right. It's because I turned the bot off. Go run main.go. Try again, feel. Right. There you go. Yeah. We have all kinds of commands. We could add so many commands if we really wanted to. Really? Make this? There's no coverage distance. Huh. Well, that's troubling. All right. We removed a ton of code and our coverage didn't change. Usually a red flag. I have good accuracy trying stuff when it's not working. To be fair, it was working before, and then I just stopped it for no reason. Because I can't manage my tabs properly, apparently. All right. Pop back over here. Double check, make sure our checks passed. Which they did. Wash and merge. Goodbye, Vault. Thank you for stopping by. We'll bring you back if we ever need you. Yeet. Oh, did I not? Whoops. Forgot about Docker. Which is odd for me. I usually never forget about Docker. That's actually been very out of date. Okay. All right. Get status. Put some hyper focus mode. Maybe learn how this AI stuff works. No worries, Phil. Thanks so much for stopping by. We'll probably be stopping here in a little bit anyway, just for time purposes. But yeah, no worries. Appreciate you stopping by. Let's see here. Let's remove Vault from Docker env. Yeah. Now we are all caught up. Yes, stick. Oh, we still have it in the back and read me. Nope. The supported options are none. Before I do that, I didn't have anything in the make file for it, I don't think. Build Mac, test, coverage, docs. Yeah, okay. That's okay. Commit-m, remove Vault references from README. All right. That was very, very sloppily done, to say the least. All of those commits should have been in one PR. Whoops. All right. Cool. So we can consider, we don't need that, we don't need that, don't need that. Remove Vault. Done. All right. Last thing. There's a part of me that was kind of tempted to take a stab at the shoutout command, but I don't think I'm going to have time for that. Set up CI, we technically did. Done with GitHub Actions. Free feature. Whoop. What else have we not done? Centralized logging, we are already doing. Protobuf message, maybe. GraphQL definitely is something interesting to me. Stream start notification maybe makes sense, but that gets more into like if the bot is running when the stream is not, and then the stream goes live. Don't really want to mess with that right now. We still need to automate the bloody OAuth step. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing that needs to happen. Setup deployment environment has actually already been done. The TLDR for that is that we were going back and forth on if we wanted to run this in AWS versus like if we're just running it on any rote standard Kubernetes cluster. And we did decide on the rote standard Kubernetes cluster. And then I deployed it to mine and it worked. So I might do a video, like an off hours video showing that, I think. Benchmarks for ledger.add, I don't think we need anymore now that we did the rework. Autothink followers is continuing to be a pain in the ass because autothink followers doesn't show up, or followers don't show up in IRC, which is really annoying. Well, in the same vein, we don't really have where is it? Shout out Raiders, recognize point redemption. So this was an MVP 2, and we technically got it working. So actually, I want to notate this. Was sort of working with PubSub client, abandoned PubSub in favor of event sub rewrite. Thus needs redoing. So basically what I'm referring to there is that we actually had, we have this Twitch PubSub Go client, and I chose to abandon this code because of how hard it was to use and how poorly documented it was. So this is actually going to be another branch, which is purge PubSub. Yeah. The thing about PubSub is that PubSub was just oof. And again, we delete a massive swath of code and nothing happens. Ugh. Where's the other one? Aha. There we go. So that's still correct. Following env. Yeah, we need to add a to-do here. Oh, someone is at the door. Give me just a second. And we're back. I really wish I could remember which YouTube channel uses that as their intro because it's so catchy. Like it's in my head. I can hear it clear as day. Anyway. Fact. Okay. So coming back to this, is talking about the environment variables that were necessary, and Twitch token. If using Redis, well, actually, Ledger. We already have. We don't use that anymore. Let's see here. And actually, I need to do go run main.go-h so that we can see this. It's just all channel and config. Okay. All channel and config. The bot is a CLI enabled tool that is mostly configured with the config.yaml file. Channel. How do we want to say this? The channel flag. I realize I shouldn't be doing any of this. I shouldn't be doing any of that because this is the wrong branch to be doing this on. I think that's fine for how it's currently set up. Let me go into main. Rip grep pub/sub. Why do we have cloud in there? Makes no sense to me. That's not an alias. So let's see here. Remove pub/sub code. Git push. Purge pub/sub. Check my branches. That's going to be interesting. Okay. Git checkout main. Do want to go ahead and open that. Can I just say that is a fantastic feature, by the way? Like, remote. Create a pull request for purge pub/sub on GitHub by visiting this. And because of ZSH, I can just command click and it takes me straight to the create a pull request page. I love that. -d purge pub/sub and purge vault. Fetch p. We can clean all that up. Come back over here. Remove pub/sub. See, that's the thing. We've removed all of that code, and it's still not a lot of coverage. Goes to show how shite our test suite is and how shite coverage is as a metric. Because I think most of us can agree that deleting a giant swath of code is a good thing, but haven't really gotten much in terms of coverage benefit. Toby's having issues. All right. Just double check this again. So we have removal of the pub/sub API from the README and the section mentioning it. Well, and then technically we deleted some CLI stuff in here. This is kind of like drive-by cleanup, if you will. And then we removed the entirety of the Twitch pub/sub go file. So now all of that code is gone. Which feels good. Feels really good. It feels good to delete code because that's code that can't break. That's my theory, at least. What's the best? What was the phrase? What's the best and most bulletproof code in existence? Deleted code. It doesn't exist. It can't break. And it's true. If you don't have to write the code, and if you don't use that code, delete that code. Don't write the code. Code can't break if it isn't written. Insert all manner of philosophical kickbacks to that. Alrighty. So now we've removed PubSub. So remove PubSub client. This we will definitely label as tech debt. Scrolling. And there we go. Alrighty. Code's in a pretty nice hygienic space, I think. Let's do one more pass through. Let's see what we got. Maybe? That's a very good question. Let's see here. Best code is no code. Okay, where does this come from? Ah, yes. Jeff Atwood was apparently one. But then Dykstra apparently had a quote about it as well. I love that there's a site called Coding Horror, by the way. Just saying. This is a statement that I actually presented to a team, and they just looked at me like, "Huh?" I think it was Jeff Atwood. Hey, and he built a PC. Oh, nice. Anyway, this is not what this stream is about, but hey, blog.codinghorror. Ye oldie Jeff Atwood. Yes, but the best code is no code at all. It's true. It's the fastest that could execute. It's doesn't require maintenance, doesn't rot, doesn't require tests. Then everybody just stares at me like, you literally say that writing code is your favorite pastime. Yeah. But I also recognize what the cost of that writing is. Case in point. All right, so let's take a look-see. We've also got this admin page. I'm very tempted to delete it, but that might be a little extreme. IRC, I think, is pretty well set. There's not really any code that's not executed as far as I am aware. Ledger Factory, we have Redis file and mem. Which we need all three. That's fine. There's a temptation to remove Redis. But not yet. Because Redis, to me, does kind of still make sense in a deployed environment. And so does a file. I think this is okay to stay. Yeah, I think this is okay to stay. I am considering, so genesis for all of this like cleanup and thought process. I've been considering how I want this bot to be packaged and run long term. It's going to be a static binary. Like, it has to be a static binary. That is one of the big reasons why I even use Go in the first place, is for those self-contained binaries. But in that mode of self-contained, it's not very self-contained if I require Redis, or if I require Vault, or if I require any network service other than Twitch, obviously. But the thought was, if I didn't have any external dependencies, if the dependency was all local, so local file, yada yada, would that necessarily be bad? I think the answer is no. As cool as Redis is, as cool as databases are, as cool as Vault is, we're not really talking about anything like groundbreaking here. The ledger file is a very simple append-only store, and the in-memory representation is super fast. Show. I mean, even now that we have expiring keys, like, there's really nothing that Redis gives us. Redis is super fast, cannot deny that. But there's nothing that Redis really gives us that the file doesn't give us. And additionally, the file is fast enough, because all we're using the file for is continued persistence. On top of that, backing that persistence up is as easy as copy the file, paste the file. So, and even in Docker, you want to persist that file, create a volume mount. In Kubernetes, you want to persist that file, create a persistent volume claim against that folder in a transaction. Really easy. Really easy to work with files. They're not great for concurrent access, necessarily. But we don't have that issue. You know? I think I've talked myself into, in the process of explaining this, I think I've talked myself into removing Redis in the last like 3 minutes or so that I have for this. Because ultimately, unless I can find a good usage for Redis, I don't think that Redis really makes sense. Because all it's doing is sitting here not being used 90% of the time, 99% of the time, I would even go so far as to say. Yeah, I'm going to purge Redis. So, all right. rm-rf Redis data, them docker compose .yaml. Doesn't depend on anything. Which means that we don't really have anything. We do have ports now, so 8080 goes to 8080. Beyond that, I don't think we really have anything. Ledger data goes to User, source, app, ledger, data. We'll probably add that at some point. Probably not right now. Secrets, require Twitch token. Redis is not even in the README. Fantastic. Docker file. Not really anything that we need there. Expose 8080, just a note. And then, yeah, RM ledger, redis.go. Lead ledger factory. Come in here, get rid of Redis. Now this does the exact same thing. We change this to a string of file mem. Voila. Go mod tidy warning. We now have radix and errors, which are not used. Go mod tidy. Now radix and errors is out. So now the code is cleaned up even further. And still no change to the coverage. Oh, that's so bad. That is so bad. I really need it. I mean, let's be real. This is why. Because there are no tests on the ledger or the secret store. So who's surprised? Not I. Well, there we go. Anything else that can go? Config is still good. I feel like ledger factory could probably just be condensed down into the ledger. Yeah. So that's no longer a thing. Twitch token is a thing. Vault KV, Redis host, Redis port, vault address. You know what? Local.sh isn't even necessary anymore. Yeah, neither is that one. Damn. Things getting real clean at the moment. Huh. Yep. Yep. Git commit -m. Remove Redis from usage. So the stream was a lot of logging fixes, test fixes, and code removal. And you know what? I still consider that to be an insanely productive stream. I know it's probably not the coolest in terms of code, but this to me is almost like when it comes to coding projects, at least, this is like Christmas. You get the opportunity to go through and be like, you know what? We don't use Redis anymore. Let's get rid of it. Let's remove it from our infrastructure. Let's remove it from our code. Let's remove it from our README. The code becomes smaller. It becomes more compact. You start to get to that point where you can read it better. It just makes a lot of sense that way. And it's fun to do, in my opinion. Oh yeah, Docker ignore. We don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. Yeah. I'm just gonna do a git commit amend. For the sake of clean history. We're technically 5 minutes over, but details. Details. All right, so we're gonna make sure that this check passes, and then we'll merge that, and then we'll call it there. Whew. All right. So I'm gonna work on centralized logging off stream. Basically just converting things over to use Logros instead of a combination of FMT and the log package. And then I think for next time, we are now set up such that we can actually do a metric store for on-screen stats, which will then set us up to create the last sub and last bits tracking. So I'm going to move that to work in progress, because that's my intention for next stream, is to start working on those pieces and basically start actually cutting my dependence on Streamlabs, because that would be fantastic. And there it is. All checks passed. Squash and merge. Thank you, Redis. You were great. You were great, but I like clean code. Git fetch -p git pull, and there we go. Branch git branch -d purge. Alrighty. Well, that's gonna do it for today. That was a session. That was definitely a session. I'd like to say that we've gotten the code to a much cleaner state. I've basically taken advantage of my Tech Debt Tuesday opportunity, and so now we're gonna start digging into features, as that is something that is very, very high on my recognition, that we haven't really worked on features in a hot minute now. So that'll be my primary goal for the next time that I stream. Which so just to kind of catch everybody up real quick. So work pretty much eats up my time during the week, which is actually kind of making me happy because I'm having a blast. Every once in a while, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll just be like, you know what? I just want to stream. I don't know why. I just want to stream. And I'll usually stream for like an hour or two before I get up and, go to work. Well, go to work. I sit here, which is fantastic. So what I'm still considering whether or not I want to make, say, like a Wednesday morning a scheduled stream, because the Saturday schedule does work really well for me. It's away from the weekday or the weekdays, so it allows me to focus on work during the week, and then I can come and play around with Go on the weekend. But I'm still kind of pondering whether or not I want to do like a Wednesday morning or go back to a Tuesday morning. Still kind of figuring that out. So apologies if the schedule is a little like all over the place for people. That's just kind of the nature of it. But yeah, I think that should do it. So thank you all so much for stopping by. Stay curious, and we will see you all in the next episode. Take care, everybody.